Wednesday at 11 stone, 11 and a quarter pounds, 8 stone, 11 pounds and a quarter ounce. In his 25th professional contest, from Westbrook, Ricky Leach. And in the bottom of the ring in the left corner, wearing the black, red and orange shorts. Wednesday at 8 stone, 9.5 pounds. Originally from Watford, now resides in China, making his professional debut, Paul Roberts. Your timekeeper John Smith from Harrow, your referee Jeffrey Hines from Reading. This is a super bantamweight contest of 4 3-minute rounds.
So the professional debut of Paul Roberts, 4 3-minute rounds at super bantamweight against Ricky Leach, or Slick Rick as he calls himself. He's been in with Gamal Yafai, Jay Harris and 25 others, but only 3 victories. So I think for Paul Roberts, a fairly safe introduction to the pro game on paper. Well, Roberts has wasted no time, slamming the right hooks into the body, and Leach is really struggling already under this pressure.
Must be at least 30 shots by now. Let's see if we can take it down, take down the energy a bit, and get into boxing. Very keen to get the fight finished with.
And the atmosphere is one of a classic York Hall that regular fans here will recognise. And Leach was, I think, just shocked by the speed of the start of Paul Roberts.
I'd like to see Leach get into the fight a bit, start throwing some shots, get his jab working, and bring himself into the fight a bit.
Again, as we saw in the last contest, it's in here, sometimes a little bit difficult when somebody comes at you all guns blazing. We spent a bit of time out with the money team in Las Vegas, and Floyd Mayweather famously had real trouble with Marcos Maidana in that first encounter over 12 rounds. Maidana just came out in 5th gear and just didn't let up for most of the 24 rounds that they boxed, in fact.
Yeah, he did. He bombarded whoever, really. He couldn't get his own shots off, and he found himself defending a lot and getting caught as well.
And even the Grandmaster of Defence, it shows how difficult that kind of style is. High pressure, high octane style. But as you say, it just seems as if Paul Roberts has got the adrenaline out of his system. Things have just settled into a bit of a rhythm here.
Yeah, he's definitely taking his time a little bit more. He's making his opponent miss, which is obviously always a good sign. Land a few jabs. Just got slyly caught there with left hook from Leach, but he's not fazed by it and he's still pushing him back.
We start from Paul Roberts on his debut.
Yeah, I'd like to see Paul take his time now this round. He's gone to bomb him out in the first round. He hasn't got it. So hopefully he could use his first fight, his debut, as his chance to learn how to box and how to control the emotions that you get during the fight. And yeah, that will help his career and his future a lot moving forward.
Of course, the pressure and expectation to impress is always there. What do you remember about your own debut? Did you feel the same pressure?
To be fair, with my debut, I remember thinking to myself, don't stop the fight. I weren't trying to knock out any of my first 6 or 7 fights. I wanted to learn how it felt, handle every situation I'd get into later on in my career, so that I'm then able to deal with it. You get the fighters that come in and they bomb people out in the first, second rounds. They don't learn what their so-called journeymen are there to teach them. And then they're getting there for a big fight, and it's not as easy to get rid of them, and then they find themselves a bit lost. That was a good shot from Ricky Leach.
Just right hand, just over the top of a very low jab from Paul Roberts.
Just paying attention to it. When Ricky Leach does stand up tall, he's actually quite a few inches taller than Robert. Is it? Paul Roberts.
Paul Roberts, that's right, yeah.
So if he could find a way to get on his jab and try and keep it long, that would definitely suit his game plan, really.
Roberts bobbing and weaving into space. He's looking for an opening again. Say, Leach has been around the block, hasn't won many of those 25, just 3 wins on the board, but he has been in with some good names, and so he won't be flustered by the opposition on the occasion.
So he's definitely going to be very experienced. I'll tell you what, it's very funny to see Ricky Leach keeps throwing a bolo left and right hand, and he's the taller guy. You don't see that often.
No, you don't. The old Roy Jones shot that, wasn't it?
Yeah. There we go again with the bolo.
Sharp hands there from Roberts.
Yeah, he definitely picked up the speed in that shot.
Composure in the work of Roberts, which wasn't evident in the first 30 seconds. He's just really settled into his boxing now.
Yeah, he's now starting to show us all what he can do, what he's capable of.
Interesting, this kind of trickle-down effect that is really Lomachenko really responsible for it more than any. This kind of sidestep footwork on the inside. A lot of British fighters have adopted that. You see the kind of combinations and then the hop off to the side, and well, it's certainly effective.
Yeah, it definitely is. But they lose track of where you are, and then all of a sudden, boom, they get hit with a shot. So yeah, definitely effective. Yeah, it's funny how all the top boxers right at the top of the game, it influences. They do one thing and it just ricochets all the way down.
Absolutely, yeah. But good, I suppose, in a way, it shows that everyone's paying attention and everyone's watching and studying the game and adding things to their own arsenal.
Yeah,
that's all you can ask for in the state of British boxing. In a very, very good place, and you can only but learn from the best. Reading all the way back to the late 60s, early 70s, George Foreman talking about how he idolised Sonny Liston and tried to become the big bad bear like Sonny Liston was. And that's very much the persona that George Foreman took on and utilised as his own throughout the 80s as well. So that trickle-down effect has been there since the beginning of boxing, really.
Yeah, definitely it has. And I guess that's what makes boxing boxing. Imagine what boxing will be like in 25 years to come. Here's another dangerous flurry.
Considerable hand speed from Paul Roberts there.
Yeah, the power with it as well.
Leach stood firm. Again, Roberts just defensively responsible on the kind of edge of punching distance, just keeping his head moving. Getting out of range of that jab, slipping and parrying.
Yeah, Leach should be onto him now a bit, trying to push him just after that big flurry. He's going to need to get the oxygen back in his lungs. He's letting him walk him down while he recuperates. And as you see now, he's ready to go again.
Short left hook on the inside landed. Jab that time from Leach on the ropes just above our commentary position here. Just momentarily just in the southpaw stance. Trick and befuddle his man, long left to the body and the right hook. Back to orthodox, back to boxing.
Yeah, Roberts is trying to lower him in to throw in a shot where he can utilise it. But Leach is being very... He got out of that one, Yeah, he's trying to lower him in so he can counter him with a good shot, but Leach isn't throwing that shot when he wants him to. As you see now, he's just looking, he's trying to make him... beckon him in.
It's intelligent pressure though from Paul Roberts, isn't it? Because he's not jumping into range, he's not taking any unnecessary risks. As you say, just sitting on the edge of punching distance, slipping, making him miss, but also making him think the whole time too.
Yeah.
And that's mentally draining. If you're on the back foot, nice double right hand there. One to head, one to body. Good punctuation to the end of the round from Paul Roberts. And, well, really good impressions on his debut so far.
Yeah, 100%. I'll tell you what, last 3 fights, I've seen it here, each man in the opposite corner, the away fighters, they've all been very competitive. Not in the sense of throwing a lot of punches, but they've tried every now and again, and they've all been tough. It hasn't been no walk in the park, say like, oh, just come, knock him out, easy money. But it's been a learning curve for all of them, so definitely good matchmaking.
You're absolutely right. It's always that dilemma, isn't it, with new up-and-coming fighters. We've seen it with the likes of Joshua Buatsi recently, huge amount of hype off the back of the Olympic Games, then a couple of really, really tough opponents for his first two. And I think although, yes, of course, on paper it would be lovely to be bowling guys out of there in the first 7 or 8, there are plenty of young fighters that could be doing that. Actually, in terms of the longer game and the bigger picture, it is better to get those rounds early, as you said earlier on, to learn. And when you do come to those really game-changing fights, and let's be honest, people aren't going to remember your first 7 or 8 opponents. They might remember your 20th and your 21st when they're for titles. And if you haven't got the experience in the bank up till that point, you haven't had those tough lessons along the way. When the going does get tough, it's when you find out who you are.
Yeah, exactly that. And you don't want to be in that situation, especially if you're a up-and-coming good fighter. Notice he starts every round very fast, Roberts.
Nice stiff left hook there. Unloading with these explosive combinations, and well, at some point he's going to have to catch a breather. Really turns through that right hand. Blood now from the eye. I think there's a cut above the left eye of Ricky Leach, and there is, in fact.
Yeah, there is. I'm trying to see how bad it is, but I can't get a good look at it.
And Roberts has been really sticking it right in since the beginning of the round. Clearly one of those who's got through and done the damage. And his head movement, sharpness has been excellent, just evaded that jab. Great feet as well there. It was really nice boxing from Roberts and showing a lot about himself. He's maintaining concentration and he's taking things up a notch. Not just mindless aggression, but thinking as well. Footwork from Paul Roberts, just moving around, keeping Ricky Leach guessing who's under the left hook. Been an excellent display of boxing from the young man on his debut in a high pressure environment. It has to be said, your call becomes a cauldron at this time of night. He's dealt with it like a seasoned pro, just boxed his way through, showing variety, power, explosiveness, bit of aggression, but thinking as well, intelligence in the ring. Good sportsmanship between Leach and Roberts, and no doubt at all as to who's going to take that on the scorecards.
Yeah, that was a good fight. It was a good fight. Definitely a good performance in his debut. Definitely could be one to watch. Very explosive. Comes out to get the job done. He can box when he has to. Yeah, that was a very good performance.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 rounds of action, referee Hines scores the contest 40 points to 36 points. It's your winner on his debut, Paul Roberts. And your
Paul, congratulations. A lot of guys on their debut, they're a bit nervous, they come out slowly, have a little look.
Yeah.
You came flying out of the traps.
Yeah, he was there for position. I know I'm quite fit anyway, so I thought, you know, I see if I can stop him in that first round. And he was a tough kid, you know, so I just thought I'll give him what I got to an extent, but I thought it's the first round. So I just stepped back, started to take my time then after that, so I felt like really he was a tough kid, and because of my debut there's no point going in there trying to rush for a stoppage or a knockout, so I just took my time in the end after that first sort of buzz. So, yeah.
You certainly did. I mean, you put it on him in every round. You were laying it on him. Showed some wonderful moves in close, moving your head. What would you say is your biggest strength?
I would say that is my biggest strength, really, moving. Sometimes I can get caught with my hands down a little bit, but all boxers get caught, you know what I mean? That's just what happens. So I was happy, I was in there. I was lucky enough to not get caught as such with my hands down. But yeah, I think it was a good performance for my debut.
Certainly was. Planning on getting out again this year, or?
Yeah, I think I'm going to talk to my promoter. Hopefully we're going to try and get out sort of early December. So yeah, and then have a little break then over Christmas. Hopefully back out in February again.
Well, congratulations, that was a scintillating debut.
Yeah,
Welcome to the pro ranks.
Thank you very much. Thanks again.
Cheers. Take care.